Libra, welcome to April 2019. My name is Colleen and this is my channel Arcana Rising. Please like, share, and subscribe. So I am going to be shuffling the cards and dealing out a spread here. Once all the cards are out, I'm going to tilt the camera down so that you can see all of the cards and we can go through them all together. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to do a pick a card thing also with, oops, there goes one card, with my Oracle card deck here. And you get to choose which one resonates with you, and I'll go through and interpret them for you as well. This is very similar to what I do. Sorry, my smudge is like smoking out of control right now. It's the same thing that I do with my Instagram posts. If you're not following me, I definitely recommend checking that out. It's Arcana Rising. The info is in right below this video. So while I'm getting all these cards out, I just wanted to quick talk about what's going on in the sky this month. So Mercury just turned or stationed direct March 28th. Mercury retrograde. Is that what I said? Yeah. So this month feels like it feels like the fog is clearing away from the heavy subconscious traveling that we did in March. It was a pretty heavy time where there was probably lots of confusion and trying to figure things out, and nothing really was clicking. So I feel like now this is a month where the fog is clearing and we're starting to gain a sense of clarity, but still may not necessarily feel perfectly clear, only because we have 3 outer planets going retrograde this month. Thought we were out of the woods, did ya? Well, we've got Jupiter going retrograde on April 10th, Pluto going retrograde on the 24th, and Saturn goes retrograde on April 30th. Thank you. And so these planets together, with all of the, Jupiter being in Sagittarius has really helped us to really, expand our minds on, what is possible for us in our lives and all kinds of forms, and, really setting our sights on some fantastic goals. And then this past March, we were kind of in dreamland, like really getting dreamy about it, and really kind of floating away there. So this month feels like it's time to come back to earth, come back to reality, and, start to contain the expansiveness and, place our focus on something, And in the process of doing that, we may find that, it could also present to us a new way of doing things as well. If we have been in the process of some kind of new project, maybe we're discovering that there's a better direction to go with it that would prove to be more beneficial for us. Wow, thank you. Oh, no, that's too many cards. And, just getting used, there's going to be shifts coming in this month. There's going to be an influence of shifting to get ourselves, grounded and realistic about how to bring our goals into reality, and that will include having to shift the way that we have been doing things, you know, or clearing away old habits that we thought maybe were beneficial for us in achieving whatever goals we've been reaching for, but maybe there's something better, you know. So keeping that in mind this month. And also, I was watching Rick Levine's astrology videos, which I highly recommend checking him out if you're really into astrology. He mentioned at one point taking it's like a month of taking off the rose-colored glasses. And then I'm going to take it a step further, and it's like we're taking off the rose-colored glasses of being in dreamland with the Pisces season, but also we're still adjusting our eyes to the new light. You know what I mean? Like when you take off your sunglasses, you kind of like, you know, squint and try to like refocus or adjust your eyes to the light sensitivity. I feel like that's what's going on as well. We're adjusting to the clarity coming through. So there could be some truths coming out as well that we have to like allow time to like settle in, and we can process and like, you know, learn to shift with it. So that's also something that's coming up here. Okay, please show me. I need 2 more cards, please. So it feels like it's also like reminding us that this is a time of, I mean, like there will be times of expansion with Jupiter, and there will be times of contraction with, you know, Saturn. And neither of them are bad. It's just learning to shift with that energy. Okay, just need 1 more and then we'll be ready to go. There it is. Okay, great. Alrighty. So I'm going to angle the camera down and we'll get into the cards. Okay. Oh boy. The Tower. This is the theme for this month of April for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The Tower card, I feel like this usually to me is representative of Uranus energy with that chaoticness, but I also feel like this is going to be pretty significant, especially as Pluto goes retrograde as well, because he's all about death and transformation and change. So I feel like this is, you know, the Tower in general is a level of, there's change coming that we may not be expecting, so there can be a shock factor in this. But also I see it as like a clearing the slate so that we can rebuild, basically, which is what's going on here. So this tower is being destroyed, and I'm feeling like I see like a bulldozer driving over, you know, knocking this building down because the foundation is weak. You know, the foundation in which this structure was built is not going to last. So we're knocking it down and recreate, like strengthening the foundation so that what we build from here will be successful, will stand the test of time, will last. You know what I mean? So it can be disturbing at first to come to terms with the fact that things are being cleared away. And I feel like when the Tower comes in, it's kind of like We like to think that it's coming out of nowhere. You know, there's a little bit of a shock here, but I feel like we've had signs being shown to us for quite a while from the universe. So these changes are, you know, surprising to a certain degree, but not surprising as well, because I feel like we have been sensing this change has been, you know, coming for a while, and now it's just here. You know what I mean? So this is a month of drastic change, and how you work with that energy is really important. Okay, so we have the Lovers in the challenge position. So this shows me that, you know, this is telling me that there could be some major shifts in the love department, in relationships, in general. And this may not necessarily be just strictly romantic relationships, although it does say love in the word. But this could be just, you know, all across the board, how you interact in all of your relationships. There's going to be a major shift, you know. So there could be some explosive energy. I'm hearing explosive. So there could be some arguments that come up that kind of reset your awareness of what's going on in this situation. I feel like there could possibly be a breakup, or maybe moving out, or just some kind of like explosive experience that brings your attention to what needs to be fixed, basically. And then the two of you can come back together to, you know, rebuild the structure of that relationship. But also, it could also be talking about, you know, in the challenge position, it could also be saying, like, as these changes are coming, like, don't forget about your connection, you know, with the people that matter most to you. Don't, you know, don't forget about the support system that you have. Don't forget about your connection with the divine. Like, let's not get totally, you know, feeling out of control here. You know, you're not in this alone. This feels like this is a relationship shift, though, I'm gonna say. But I, you know, underlying underneath this, don't forget the love. Don't forget about the love between you and this other person, because this does feel like relationships in general. There's a man and a woman here. There's a man and a woman here. Are going to be like the theme of the month for you guys, and learning how to work through the challenges that could be presenting themselves this month together. You know, if you're in a relationship and you truly want to continue forward with that relationship, you just have to keep reminding yourself that whatever arguments, whatever disagreements or challenges that come your way, like, you're in it together. When you have a fight, you're fighting for each other. You're fighting for your relationship. You know, you're fighting for the resolution of your relationship to strengthen it and make it better, you know? So just keep that in mind as you're going through these major shifts this month. So we have the Three of Cups here in reverse. So I have this set up as like first, second, third, fourth quarter or week, however you want to view it. But, you know, just keep in mind that even though it's set up that way, when it comes to tarot, time is fluid, so these energies can all kind of blend together this month, and it's not like on day 7 we're going to get into this energy, and on day 14 we're getting on, you know what I mean? Like, it all flows together, so just keep that in mind. So the Three of Pentacles in reverse here, in the first in the beginning of the month is talking about an inability to work with others in creating something that would be mutually beneficial for you all. So, I feel like there's this desire to want to do things on your own, but this is indicating that you can go further when you come together as a unit, whether that's between you and one specific person or between you and a group of people that are working together on a project. You're not the only one in that project. So just, be open to hearing the advice and suggestions of other people. And, everyone is in this together for the purpose of making something great, So just keep that in mind, that everyone has good intentions on whatever this is that you're building together. So be open to ideas that are other than your own. Be open to creating things in a way that you may not necessarily have chosen in the first place, but it's possible that this path could turn out to be more beneficial. You know what I mean? Could be an easier way to go. Okay. So we have the 9 of Swords here. And this is the card of Sleepless Nights. This card talks about anxiety and stress and going through everything that you've ever thought about. You know what I mean? And it's just keeping you up at night. Stressing and worrying about things that you can't control. Not being able to let go of things as well. And just creating unnecessary stress on yourself and whatever situation you're in. And there's also this fear that you can't move forward, or this fear that something can't be done. You've gone through a lot mentally, and the 9 is one step away from 10, from the completion card for the Swords. And this is just saying you're almost through it, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Just try not to hold on to everything. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm feeling some serious burdens this month, some serious mental burdens this month that can be eased if you lighten the load and stop feeling like you need to do everything on your own. So I feel like that's why this, giving in to working as a team is pretty important this month, to avoid creating unnecessary mental stress for yourself. And it's saying if you refuse assistance and you try to do everything on your own, this is where you're going to be. So it's kind of like a warning. And I'm also seeing a lot of black background cards here. Like I'm hearing in the dark. So I feel like there's certain things about whatever's going on this month that you aren't meant to know just yet, and trying to force the way it all works out is going to work against you and just cause more stress. There's a reason that you are still in the dark about all of this. So just keep that in mind. The universe, when it presents us a challenge like this, it's doing this for the purpose of bringing in something better. It's showing you that there's a better way of doing things, and the way that you have been doing them have not been the best way to do it. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. And then we have the Seven of Cups in reverse in the third quarter. And this one is talking about some, so we have lots of different choices here on opportunities of which one's good for us and which one's bad for us. And there's a possibility that we could get into a place of indecision, and there's a lot of confusion. So I'm feeling like this could go either way. This could be, depending on if you are open to, to the assistance of others and the level of stress that you're taking on this month, this can continue into some extreme confusion. And having no clue what the hell's going on. And it's taking a toll on you emotionally. You know what I mean? Or if you are open to working with others, and not thinking that your way is the only way, and, coming together as a team, sharing the weight of whatever it is that you're going through, easing the mental stress that you have on yourself, I feel like this is saying that it will bring in some clarity for you and a level of understanding for you to know which way to go. For you to make, I feel like you'll be able to make a decision on whatever it is you feel that you need to do during this time of the month. As long as you come into April with this energy of community, with this energy of teamwork and working together, sharing the load, working as a union. And this can be with work, this can be with a friendship, this can be with family members, this can be with, really anybody in your life, not just love relationships. I'm just going to switch on my light because it's starting to get dark here. I don't even know if that made any sort of difference, but just in case, because it looks like a storm's coming, so it's kind of blocking the sun now. Okay, and then lastly we have the Knight of Swords, and this is fast-paced energy, fast-paced movement. So I'm feeling like this anxious energy can fuel this desire to push forward. So there's a little level of caution there. What is fueling this need to move so quickly? What is the reason, or what is the purpose for charging ahead so quickly? I almost feel like running away is the name of the game here. So it's coming up. I'm hearing like I want to run away from this situation because, and just push through some other area of my life and put my focus there. Because it's too much to handle mentally right now. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight out of all of them in that suit. And he's got this energy. I mean, the swords are all about the element of air, communication, mental aspects of the self, and his mental energy is moving very quickly. Which can, that with that air energy always to me, like, it shows me anxiety. So I feel like that can be creating this desire to just move forward with things without really fully thinking it through and just doing it, doing whatever it is, like pushing through. So I feel like if you come to this place of indecision, you may just try to push through, and that can cause you to go in a direction that's not really that great for you. And you're just, you're just doing it to do something because maybe you're starting to feel out of control here, especially with this being the theme of the month. Or it can be saying if you, the way in which you handle the first half of the month could possibly bring in a sense of clarity in making a decision so that you can move forward with mental clarity and confidence in this situation. But I feel like the confusion and indecision in the middle to the end of the month is tying with this inability to work with others, accept help, and feeling like you have to do everything on your own. Definitely. So I'm going to get some clarifying cards in here to see if there's any other messages. So like, what are we charging forward with? Knight of Swords. What else do you have to tell me about the Knight of Swords? Okay. So, get in there. Thank you. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Which is showing me like working against fate, trying to take fate into your own hands, and it's working against you. You know what I mean? Like when this is in reverse, this is when the devil is on the top portion of the wheel, and this can be saying that you are trying to take fate into your own hands because you're letting your ego lead the way, you know what I mean? And that is putting you in the wrong direction. It's like taking steps back. Like I'm seeing like a board game here, and you're so close to the finish line on that board game, but trying to push through and force things, you know, creates mistakes, and then you got to take a couple steps back, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's possibly what could be happening here, depending on how you react to whatever is going on in the first half of this month. And the way in which you react to the changes that are coming this month can really determine which way this Wheel of Fortune goes, because the Wheel of Fortune is the card of like possibilities, you know what I mean? It's the card of luck being on your side, and of, you know, kind of like shifting into a new phase, but not fully completing a journey, but there is a distinct shift in energy that like closes a small chapter and opens a new one here. So when it's in reverse, it's kind of like refusing to close that chapter and, you know, pushing through down a path that throws you off course, you know what I mean? So just pay attention to your ego and your anxiety levels, or like your mental aspects of yourself. This month, you know, don't be afraid to share the weight of the stresses that you're going through. Having a strong support system feels like it's really important this month. And I want to figure out what's going on here as well. Oop, wrong deck. Sorry. So figure out a good ritual for yourself now before things start getting crazy. Like, what would be a great way of taking care of myself while I go through this, while I go through these changes and these shifts here? But also, one major thing that would really support you is by reaching out to others and asking for support and for help. Okay, so actually it's kind of feeling to me like a decision is possible here when you use your imagination and you get into your joy and you get into that creative vibe. You know, it seems like the decision that needs to be made is in the direction of what feels unique to you, what feels creative, and what feels imaginative for you. Because I feel like that is going to set the tone for the rest of the year, and then that's when you can start moving ahead, and possibly it can turn that wheel of fortune around. This card also, I'm sorry, let me show you. This card also feels to me like a major Pisces card as well. So it could be just, you know, showing me that there's a level of emotional maturity that needs to be called in, but, you know, you're still not fully at that place of maturity. But I feel like that is like channeling, you know, working with your emotions. So, okay, there's a possibility of clarity coming in here, and working with your emotions and determining what feels the best for you is going to lead you in making the right decision for whatever's going on here. So it's kind of like follow your heart through this decision-making process. If you're feeling really confused or in the dark, or it's like you've been in the dark in the first half of the month, and then you're starting to see some clarity, but there's still a level of confusion, and we need to tap in with our heart and feel through this situation instead of trying to mentally work it. You know what I mean? Like, you've done everything that you could to mentally wrap your mind around this situation, and now it's time to step into your heart and make the decision from there, because that's where the truth is. Not in your head, it's in your heart. And then you can move forward, and I feel like that's going to help ease the anxiety about moving forward. But also, you know, being cautious towards the end of the month with where you're going, because even though you've made this decision doesn't mean it's time to just go full force with it. I really feel like going at an easier pace would prevent you from starting down a path that's going against your destiny. Okay, so that's your message, Libra, for this month. I mean, you're going to be in the dark for a while and not really understand what's going on, and you need to tap into your heart and, you know, lean on the support of the people that are around you. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to receive help. You know, it's okay to be open to working as a team on whatever it is that needs to be accomplished here. So I'm going to, I also almost feel like this is also saying going out on your own is not going to work, you know, with, you know, being in alignment with your true purpose is not like going out on your own. You know, don't run away from your problems. Don't run away from the situation. Don't try to do everything on your own. You know, you can get further in the direction of where you'd like to be by working together instead of shutting people out or thinking that you have to do it on your own. I hope that makes sense. we've got 3 cards here. And just take a deep breath. And tune into the cards and see which one resonates with you the most. And then I'm going to go through them. Okay, here we go. So we've got inner truths. And look how she is in that cave. She's in the darkness there. But she's working her way towards the light. And that's what I really feel like is going on this month. Is like being in the dark. Being in the dark and, you know, only seeing what's a few feet ahead of you. And not seeing, you know, everything else. Not everything, the light isn't shining on everything just yet. And there's a reason. You know, you're going through this cave of, you know, trying to understand something more deeply. And you'll get to that light of clarity, you know, when you call upon the assistance of others, you know. Inner truth. So that's all about, you know, there's parts of yourself that are coming to light that haven't been addressed either for a really long time or if at all. So there's new realizations that are coming in, and then there's a processing going on where you're trying to make sense of what's been coming up as well. You know, and also discovering these, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be negative things. You know, people can see that as like, oh, that means like childhood traumas are coming up or something like that. Like, no, this could also be discovering strengths within you that you weren't aware were there as well. And I'm seeing a dog in this, like in reverse. This is really weird. So I'm seeing a dog as well, and I'm feeling like that is talking about loyalty here. So that could be one of these inner truths that are coming up, can be centralized around loyalty in relationships. So just keep that in mind. The middle card is make a wish. So this is definitely a month where it's like the possibilities are available for you. There's a clearing away going on, a shifting of structure. So from here, you can really decide, you know, what you want to build on that foundation. What bricks are going to set up this foundation of my life so that I can build up from there, you know. So, you know, making a decision through making a wish, you know what I mean? Like, what would you wish for if you had one of these flowers in your hand and you like blow, you know, you blow the thingies away off of it, and it's like when you make a wish that way, there's no restriction on it. You don't restrict yourself from, you know, the possibilities of that wish, you know what I mean? So this, the same thing applies here as you are restructuring your life. You know, look at it this way, in that form, like without restriction, and allowing yourself to set your sight on that, you know, imaginative possibility for you, and then hone in on it, you know, hone in on it to start making it happen. Higher ground. So this is a great card. This is a card that's just reminding you to, like, with every experience that is coming up this month, come from a place of love, come from a higher place rather than through your ego and pride. This month, whenever you have to make decisions or, you know, reacting to certain things, you want to come from a higher place and react with love, react from the heart rather than from the head, you know, and getting caught up in the drama of things or the stresses of things. You know, it would be great to just take time to pause before providing a response to whatever's going on this month as well. Like taking that time to breathe and center yourself, and then you can really get in touch with the higher ground energy, and make decisions that are based on what your heart wants rather than what your anxiety and your fears want. You know what I mean? So that is your message for this month, Libra. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. It sounds like it's possibly a little bit intense, but it's really dependent on how you handle these situations. So I send you so much love, and you can do it. And please let me know what you think in the comments below. Please, please, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in May. Take care. Bye-bye.